Good morning and welcome to NewsWare's Trade Talk for Wednesday, January 28th. Okay, let's get into the action. Take a look at the S&Ps. The S&Ps are trading higher by 0.25%, which is positive. We'll be up 0.3% shortly. So we're seeing some good gains in tech this morning. That's really leading the charge higher. The backdrop, remains constructive. I mean, earnings come in above expectations, and added to the bullish tone is these AI model developers such as OpenAI, Anthropic. They're continuing to do fundraising, and they're getting funds, and that reinforces the confidence in the AI related spend, and it's still going to be robust. So we got to continue to be positive on tech stocks. On the economic calendar today, it's about the Fed's monetary policy decision. No real policy changes are expected. It's Powell's press conference, which is likely going to drive the volatility this afternoon, so keep an eye out for that. In Washington, these odds for a shutdown remain elevated as Senate Democrats withdrew support from the Department of Homeland Security's funding bill following that Minneapolis ICE shooting. In corporate news, what do we got? NVIDIA is gaining this morning. China apparently approved the first batch of imports of its H200 AI chips. AT&T announced plans for a big buyback. That's positive. In earnings news, ASML, FFIV, GE Veranova, GEV, LRN, and TXN, they're all moving higher, whereas in Qorvo, QRVO, ELV, DHR, they're weaker after their earnings results. But after the bell today, we got Meta, we got Microsoft, we got Tesla, we got Lam Research, we got IBM, we got ServiceNow. They're all scheduled to report. So, those are some key ones to keep an eye on. Let's move and take a look overseas, and let's see the German DAX. The German DAX just took a hit. It was flat. Now it's down 0.65%. Tech and semiconductor stocks were the bright spots last I checked. The FTSE down 53 points or 0.52% with weakness in the healthcare sector. And in Paris, the CAC is down 1.5%. And that's being dragged down by weakness in the luxury sector after earnings reports from one of the big luxury stocks. Going over to Asia last night. And Asia was green. I mean, we did see some positive action. I mean, the Nikkei was just barely green. It finished higher by 0.05%. Tech stocks, they did outperform. Export-orientated names were lagging, mainly due to the stronger yen. Those minutes from the Bank of Japan's December meeting showed that the board remained open to further rate hikes should, the economic growth and inflation hold. The Hang Seng finished higher by 699 points. That's 2.58%. It was supported by strength in energy and material stocks. In China, the Shanghai Composite finished higher by 0.27%, supported by tech and metal stocks. Sentiment was also boosted after that announcement on the NVIDIA chips. So we got to say that. And then we're looking at oil this morning. Oil is now trading higher. You got WTI at $62.86 a barrel. You got Brent at $67.97 a barrel. You're up about 0.6%. The winter storms continue to bring cold temperatures throughout the U.S., and that's, inflating these oil prices. I don't think the cold weather is going to dissipate anytime soon. So as long as we have it, we're going to see these elevated oil prices. And then you have President Trump's talk about expanding its naval presence in the Middle East, because you already got one carrier there. Apparently, he's sending additional naval vessels into the Middle East, which is causing a little concern over there. API data came in last night. It showed a draw of 247,000 barrels for the week ending January 23rd. That's bullish for oil prices. Now we're going to sit back and we're going to take a look at earnings this morning, and we're going to see what's happened on the earnings front. And we got to start with AT&T. They beat by 5 cents. They did it on higher revenue. That stock's up 3.35%. LRN beat by 18 cents on higher revenue. That stock's trading higher as well. What's it up? It's up 27.36%. Wow, I was looking at this one yesterday. Seagate STX, they beat by 27 cents on higher revenue. You look at the stock this morning, it is also showing a gain to STX. Where is it at? It's up 9.72%. And then we got after the bell today, we got a number of earnings coming out after the bell today. We got, Microsoft, their EPS is $3.88. Expected move is 5.12%. We got Meta, their EPS is $8.15. Expected move is 6.80%. And Tesla, their EPS, 44 cents. Expected move 5.83% when they release this afternoon. Then we got to get to the economic reports. At 10:30, we're going to get the EIA stockpiles report. But at 2 p.m., we get the FOMC statement on monetary policy. Expect to see another divided Fed. At 2:30, Jerome Powell's press conference begins. That's where the fireworks will start, and we'll start to see some volatility in the markets due to some of his comments. Okay, let's take a look at the markets this morning. Rather mixed. We're seeing some positive action this morning in Amazon, Tesla, and Google. They're all trading higher, but the other FANG stocks are trading lower. The big gainer on the markets today is really Travelers Group and NVIDIA. NVIDIA's up 1.81%, whereas in Travelers Group is up 0.77%. Looking at some of the news behind the tape, Amazon said that they're going to be cutting 16,000 jobs. That's their largest job cut ever, and that's why the stock's seeing some gains this morning. Tesla trading higher this morning. They're considering a SpaceX IPO in mid-June. Boeing's trading flat this morning, but they're getting multiple price target increases this morning. NVIDIA, China approves purchase of NVIDIA's H200 chip, easing tensions with the U.S. In terms of guidance news, Teva sees full year 2026 EPS $2.57 to $2.77. Street estimates $2.77. Ticker EAT, Brinker International. They raised their EPS view to $10.45 to $10.85. Street estimates $10.44, so that's a nice uptick. AT&T, ticker T, they see full year 2026 EPS coming in $2.25 to $2.32. Street estimates $2.23. That's a nice uptick. GE Veranova, ticker GEV, they see full year 2026 revenue coming in $44 billion to $45 billion. Street estimate has it at $41.85 billion, so that's a definite uptick. In terms of buybacks, we got to start off with Scott's Miracle Grow. That's ticker SMG. Sam Michael Grace, their board approved the 500 million share buy repurchasing program. Wix, WIX, their board authorized a 2 billion share repurchase, and AT&T announced plans to repurchase roughly $8 billion worth of stock this morning. Okay, let's move on to our pick of the day, which is Las Vegas Sands. That's ticker LVS. Larry, Victor, Sam. Earnings are out after the bell. EPS is 56 cents. Expected move is 6.11%. And if you look at yesterday's call volume, 6,309 calls versus 1,372 puts. Very positive. Open interest, 122K versus 78K. Very positive. And the major brokers are raising price targets and even their ratings. So, yeah, this looks good. Honestly, I'm hoping to get in $60 to $60.25. That's kind of my entry area. But I do think this will at least show a 1% gain throughout the day. So keep an eye on LVS, Las Vegas Sands. Okay, let's move on and see what's hitting the tape in the last 15, 20 minutes. Deutsche Bank raid suspected money laundering by staff. Ooh, that's not good. Ticker DB. Eli Lilly and Seamless enter a research collaboration. All right. Corning raises springboard plan growth outlook. GE was added to Citi's North American Equity Focus list of high conviction ideas. This happened last night. John Deere, ticker DE. Trump announced John Deere to shift excavator production to the U.S. Bros, BROS, Dutch Bros, they're going to be replacing PCH in the S&P 400 on February 2nd. Drug stocks, Aviva, Lilly, Pfizer, they're all being selected for the third cycle of Medicare price negotiation talks. Kenvue, KVUE, they're holding a shareholders meeting tomorrow at 9 a.m. That's all I'm seeing this morning. Okay, let's move on and let's talk about our stock of the day from yesterday, which was Teva, which did work out. I mean, the stock opened up at 32.22. I said under 32, and it did fall under 32. It actually fell to 31.57, and then closed at 32.53. So if you use my entry point, yeah, you definitely did get the 1% yesterday. So you got to be pleased with that. It does, we take the 1% whenever you see it, but Teva did hit yesterday based on that entry price. So we got to be pleased as punch with that. All right, traders, that wraps up this morning's podcast. Guys, you know what to do. Let's go out there and let's make some green.